Our peaceful trading partners are not our enemies. They are our allies. We should beware of the demagogues who are ready to declare a trade war against our friends, weakening our economy, our national security, and the entire free world, all while cynically waving the American flag. The expansion of the international economy is not a foreign invasion. It is an American triumph, one we worked hard to achieve, and something central to our vision of a peaceful and prosperous world of freedom.
Wouldn't it be something if we could just heed those words? Selena's here to tell us a bit about some of the Wisconsin reaction to the first couple of weeks of the Trump presidency. We'll note that over the weekend, the president did make it official that tariffs were going to be imposed on some of our closest trading allies, Canada and Mexico, as well as China. So again, for a campaign that was all about prices being too high, all of those nations have already announced retaliatory measures. So there's no two ways about it. Prices are going to go up for some things along the way, not to mention all the other things that we could talk about over these past 2 weeks. In fact, Selena and Kristen, I tried to start a document, and I didn't start it soon enough, about all of the things, all of Trump's steps, like renaming the Gulf of Mexico, renaming Mount McKinley, pulling out of the World Health Organization, pulling out of the Paris Climate Accords, firing the inspectors general, and on and on. But I know I've missed some. I got to go back and look because, I mean, I'm at 3 dozen things already. And again, for every one of them, like we said, some of them are just for noise, but some of them have real impact. That, Selena, you've talked to people that want to know, what can they do? You know, who can they band together with to, you know, again, try to show some resistance and maybe show some hope, you know, for the future?
Yeah, and that's exactly right, because that's what they talked about, is hope. And we do have hope in things and just different causes and things to think about. A lot of the hope was they talked about fair maps. And so that's always been in the people that I've talked to lately, that's kind of been the kind of highlight that they like to talk about. So on Saturday, a lot of groups got together just to talk about what do we do next? And we kind of have to come together and for a lot of these causes. Like, so this group was the Eau Claire Coalition, and it's gather with multiple area grassroots organizations to collaborate and celebrate and prepare for 2025. And so it was groups like the League of Women Voters, Citizen Action of Wisconsin. My gosh, we talked about voting, and I just talked to so many great people just about the causes that they care about. And it was just so neat and refreshing just to hear so many viewpoints and how they're eager to just kind of step in and get a lot done. So one of those people was, oh my goodness, Robert Craig of Citizen Action of Wisconsin. And he, you know, just like the others, talked about, you know, people have to come together. And this is Robert.
But I would just say that I hope I know you're all involved because you're here and you want to get involved. You came here to find out about getting involved. But join one of these groups, and it's people coming together and working together. That is what changes society. That is what democracy is. Because I think in the end, the crisis in democracy is this: not just voting, not just the attack on the integrity of elections. It is democracy hasn't been delivering for people. And what we need to do is we need to deliver high-class, world-class education for everyone, make healthcare a right, address the climate crisis and other environmental crises, create an economy where we don't have the massive economic and racial inequalities that we have, which are unconscionable, rather than going the opposite direction, because this means coming together, where we simply vilify other people, we blame others for everything.
But that, of course, has been, you know, Donald Trump's secret sauce, is to blame others for everything rather than actually provide a service and coming together. But it is heartwarming to see such a large group of groups, basically, in the Chippewa Valley saying we should work together more often.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they wanted to do. Like, going forward, one guy stood up and he said, can we meet like this, like 85 times a year, because this is so good. And we just want to talk about kind of moving forward all together and talking about all of these things and helping one another and getting people involved. And it was really neat to see all of those groups come together. There's like the Wisconsin Education Network too, and the Farmers Union, Jonah, Black and Brown Women's Power Coalition. So just a lot of different groups. And I got to talk to representatives kind of from all of those things. And it was just so neat to hear a trepidation, of course, but excitement also moving forward with people behind them.
With this note of caution, and Kristen, you can talk to this, is it is too easy to fall into the trap then of just creating your own echo chamber, your own, loop of communication of unhappiness with the present situation. And to break out of that cycle requires taking some kinds of action, not just talking amongst yourselves.
This is the reason for the blitzkrieg of information and chaos that President Trump has let loose on our country. He wants us to feel like we're alone. He wants us to feel like we are in our own echo chamber and that there's nothing that we can do. And Robert Craig has the solution. The answer is to band together. It's got to be grassroots. It's got to come from our communities. And it's beautiful to hear that this is happening. And I believe that this is sustainable and it is going to be the solution.
We will talk more to Selena Heller about a new topic. This week is National Girls and Women in Sports Day. So we're going to hear from Selena about that in just a moment. But I want to wrap up this discussion on what Trump is doing. As we began it, talking about trade and tariffs, this is former President Ronald Reagan in 1988 talking about trade wars and the harm that they do, and how nice it would be if more people from the party that used to be the party of Reagan would heed his words today.
Our peaceful trading partners are not our enemies. They are our allies. We should beware of the demagogues who are ready to declare a trade war against our friends, weakening our economy, our national security, and the entire free world, all while cynically waving the American flag. The expansion of the international economy is not a foreign invasion. It is an American triumph, one we worked hard to achieve, and something central to our vision of a peaceful and prosperous world of freedom.
Wouldn't it be something if we could just heed those words?